Hello everyone and welcome to Photo Finds. I'm your host Gavin Hatch. This week we are at Epcot, so let's get started. Coming up to the front of the park from the parking lot itself, you can actually see that they have added metal detectors at the checkpoints that are more permanent. They don't look like they're temporary, and it looks like they've added them at all the checkpoints. Now this is one that was closed off, but they also had a tent set up that everyone was going through, and the tents did have 4 different metal detectors that everyone had to go through. So Disney's been kind of catching a lot of heat since they've started doing metal detectors at the parks, because Universal, it's mandatory. Everyone walks through a metal detector, and your bags go through a metal or x-ray machine, I should say. And then SeaWorld even does it too. But Disney was the only park that was kind of just randomly selecting, quote unquote, randomly selecting guests to go through these metal detectors. But a lot of guests were able to only just get their bags checked and just walk on through. So I think Disney's taking the step to go ahead and make this a mandatory thing for everyone to walk through these metal detectors. I think it's a smart idea. It's definitely, it's just the world we live in these days, unfortunately. But it doesn't really slow down the process. It's really not going to take up too much more of everyone's time. But of course, I'm saying this coming in at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It wasn't that busy, but I'm sure it could cause a little delay when it comes to security checkpoints and the lines in the morning when these parks are opening up, because we all know Disney parks are a madhouse first thing in the morning. Now, this is my first time to a Disney park since they introduced the exclusive pass holder only line into the park. Now, we went there again around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so it wasn't really busy, but I can see that in the morning, if you're a pass holder and you're going to the parks when they first open up the first few hours, it is a mob scene. It's crazy. So there's a lot of people. There's hundreds of people trying to get into the park all at once up here, but pass holders now will have their own line to go through, and you just simply walk up, show your magic band, they tap it, and go on through, and you can buy. It's kind of like a fast pass pretty much. So it's exclusive for pass holders. They do have signage and cast members on hand to direct you where to go and make sure you get up to the turnstiles and get into the park quickly and efficiently and bypass everyone else. So that's a nice feature, a good benefit for pass holders. There needs to be more benefits. For pass holders, I think for what you're paying, you should get a lot more for your money. But this is still nice, nice benefit, nice feature. It's so weird coming into Epcot and not seeing the signage and logos for Innoventions, and seeing that you can't even go into the main entrance anymore. They have both East and West still open, but on one side you have Colortopia, and that's it. And then the other side you have a character spot, meet and greet with Baymax and Joy from Inside Out. The film Inside Out, and that's it. It's really very bare. There's nothing else in these buildings, and these are huge buildings that used to house really cool attractions and interactive experiences for families, and it's really kind of depressing walking through there now. And I really hope that there's something being done, that Disney's in talks with other sponsors to create stuff to bring Innoventions back to life, or even if they just want to go ahead and gut it and make attractions or shows or do something, just anything entertaining in this space, I'd be happy with, even if it's not Innoventions. Bring back the Communicore, but I know that's not going to happen. So we did actually, this is my first time, I did Colortopia for the first time, and that was actually kind of cute. It's fun. I like the ending when you have the interactive paintbrushes. That was neat. And while we were in there, I noticed they didn't even border up or cover up, but they still have that like House of the Future going on in their Dream Builder house. That was still in there. And then you can even see the Kuka Arm ride vehicles for the Sum of All Thrills. So the Sum of All Thrills was still in there as well. That recently closed. I think that was the thing that closed most recently. And that is still there. And I was shocked that they had a construction wall up, but they didn't have like a curtain. So you can still see the ride vehicles or the Kuka Arms, and you can still see the logo for Sum of All Thrills, but they did not cover it up with any banners or anything. It was just kind of out in the open there. So it's really weird walking through there, and it's very quiet now, that's for sure. Now, we took these pictures on Tuesday the 10th, and Christmas decorations were still up, even though officially all the Christmas and holiday entertainment and activities and festivities and everything holiday oriented at Disney World ended on the 8th. So they're a little behind on getting these Christmas decorations down. In the past, I thought Disney was very quick on making sure all the Christmas decor is pretty much taken out of the parks almost overnight, just like how they put it in almost overnight. But I guess they're a little behind this year, or maybe this is what they do every year. But I was very surprised to see a lot of Christmas decorations all around the park, it being the 10th. Now, again, another reason I was really surprised for seeing the Christmas decorations still up is because they do have the new festival starting on the 13th, which is going to be Friday. So they have all the stuff that's pulled down because, of course, that festival has nothing to do with the holidays, and it'd be really weird and clashing together. So I'm sure all this is going to be gone before Friday, but it's still kind of surprising to see Christmas decorations, even Christmas trees up over in the pavilions around the World Showcase, and even inside the Land Pavilion itself, there are still trees up, and it's January 10th. So, yeah, they were even selling merchandise. They still had some Christmas merchandise for sale around the park. Now, I'm not sure if Agent P's World Showcase adventure game is still going on or not, but it looked like they were not doing that anymore because there was one cast member by herself at the Future World location where you can sign up to play the game usually, but it looked like she was just there to answer questions for guests, but not anything pertaining to the game. Because when I was walking around World Showcase, I noticed that over by the UK pavilion and also in Italy, they have completely removed the kiosks that they used to have there where guests can come in and check in, I guess, for the game or sign up to play the game. So those are completely gone, and I think this is the end of the interactive games that we've had for a number of years now, starting with the Kim Possible one in World Showcase. Again, I could be wrong. They might still be doing it and only just have one location now to sign up and start playing the game, but it looks like it was pretty much shut down, and there was just a cast member there with a tablet in her hand, but all the other stuff around was closed down and the other kiosks completely removed. Now, this festival that I keep mentioning is the newest thing coming to Epcot. This is the first year they've done it, and it starts on Friday the 13th. It is Epcot's International Festival of the Arts. Now, this is something that I'm actually excited for. I'm not a huge food and wine person. I'm not a huge flower and garden person, and both of those events now kind of seem like the same thing. They really are stressing food and wine at all of these events now that they're having around Epcot, and it makes sense because it is Epcot after all. But this is going to be something that is a little different. Of course, they're still doing food and wine, and I'm sure they'll still have a festival center, but they are now incorporating more entertainment into this festival. So they are doing Broadway style entertainment. They're going to have lots of real Broadway performers come down to Florida and perform in the American Gardens Theater, and they are going to be, of course, lots of Disney performers. You have Lion King, you have Beauty and the Beast, Mary Poppins. All these performers that have done those shows with Disney on Broadway are going to be performing in the park, and it's no additional cost. It's all inclusive with your park ticket and annual pass. So that's really neat, and something that Patrick, he lived in New York City for 8 years, and he is a huge Broadway nerd. So he's very excited, and we probably will be there on Friday and checking it out for ourselves. But it's something that is, you'll see, they're advertising it, not a whole lot though. This is pretty much the only way we knew about it is the signs on the food kiosk, and then they have all these new tents with you can smell the new plastic on these tents. It's so funny. They have these tents, which I'm assuming is going to be for merchandise and selling lots of artwork and stuff. They have them all around World Showcase. So this is really, they don't have a lot of advertisements for it though. Not even over at the American Gardens Theater. They didn't have any poster work inside the frames, the poster frames over there by the stage. So I don't know if it's going to be a huge success, just because I don't think they're really putting a lot of advertising into it. But at the same time, I know it's still going to be nice. I'm really looking forward to the entertainment side of it, because I feel like we've already seen a lot of food and wine and flower and garden. It's all kind of the same. I think these festivals really just keep the turnstiles turning at Epcot. That's my thought. But I mean, a lot of people love this stuff. Over at the American Gardens Theater, we did notice that one of the kiosks, the food kiosks, it was actually closed, but it did have the menu here, and they just took tape. I guess they were out of some menu items. They just took tape and put it over the menu item and the price. So I don't know. It was weird. Disney's all about show quality, and this looked just a little out of place, seeing them just take tape and paper and cover up menu items I guess they ran out of. But overall, it was a very nice day, great weather, and not a lot of crowds. We actually walked around World Showcase twice that day. so it was very nice and I enjoyed it. But that will be it for this week's edition of Photo Finds. I hope all of you have a great week, and make sure you subscribe to Attractions Magazine. Don't forget to subscribe to our personal channel. Patrick and I have our own personal channel with our vlogs, and you can subscribe to that at youtube.com/GavinPatrick. And I will see you guys next week. Make sure you get out, you have fun, and you enjoy those parks.